That's Gross, episode 38, your favorite hockey podcast. I'm excited to talk to you boys. I got Jake and JB here. How we doing? Look, the bees are struggling here. So maybe we'll talk about some things that we'll talk about the bees a little bit, but we're not going to we would probably end up having to take our shoelaces away if we really get too deep into the weeds on that. So we'll just start off. How you guys doing? Jake, I'll kick it to you. I know you got a hot date, although that's debatable, but we'll throw it to you. How's it going?
Yeah, I don't know how it's debatable when haven't even seen what she looks like, but
That's
yeah, I'm doing
that's exactly how it's debatable. But keep going.
okay. Your words, not mine. I'm doing well though. Christmas, wrap that up. Got New Year's coming up. Kind of ready for this holiday season to be over, but also not ready because then I have to go back to work consistently 5 days a week for a
So
while.
yeah, so what is your schedule? Because you were telling us like last week about how many days you have to take off. So have you not been like in the office the last couple of weeks?
Not much. Yeah. So I didn't use like any PTO days this entire year. So excuse me.
Those
So
bless those cracks.
I basically originally I had from the 16th to the 5th off.
Mhm.
But my boss really needed me, so I came in a couple days like one of those weeks, and I ended up getting paid out for a week of vacation, so that's nice, some money in the pocket. So basically I've been in the office like 2 days a week, like Monday and Tuesday for the last couple weeks, so not too bad.
Jesus, man.
Worked a half day today.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty nice. It's
Yeah.
pretty nice. Well, good stuff, JB. I'll throw it over to you. I know I talked to you a little earlier. We had a bit of a heart to heart, a bit of a little old fashioned existential crisis. Everybody has them. Um, but yeah, man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, dude. I don't know if I wasn't going to work, if my job would fall apart the way Jake's would. He's pretty impactful over there at said company.
He's a key cog for sure.
He is. He's leading the train.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
how I found myself in that position, but carry on.
hey, it just happens. It's like with gross hockey too. We'd all fall apart if you weren't. You're like the glue. But yeah, no, I'm
I know you're
doing
being
good.
sarcastic, but I think you're kind of right.
Those are your words, not mine.
Fair enough.
Uh, but yeah, no, I'm
We
doing
wouldn't
good,
have
dude.
started the pod. We wouldn't have started the pod with that, Jake. We'll give him
That's
that.
true.
That's
Yeah.
100% true. Now, in terms of the daily operations, that's a different conversation, but we won't get into that. We won't get into that. We're having a good time here. Okay? We're having a good time.
We're all happy.
So JB, you said you're doing well. All right,
Yeah,
so
I don't got
yeah,
much for you
you don't
in
got
my
much. We're that's
daily
fine.
life.
That's fine. And we kind of had a conversation about this. It's a grind out there. And yeah, I wish we were all like spitting chicklets right now. I wish we were covering the Milan Olympics right now. That is my dream for Gross Hockey is to be able to fucking pay for an all expenses covered trip to go cover the Olympics, create content around it. So I might as well just put it out there and say into the universe. It's not going to happen this Olympics, but that would be the dream here so that we're not getting on this podcast and talking about, hiding our shoelaces. Now, skipping the personal stuff, we got to talk a little bit about the Bruins, I guess, right? This is kind of a hockey podcast.
Before we get into the Bruins, I just want to ask what you guys are doing for New Year's. But like, before we get into the weeds.
All right. Well, I'm not really doing it. I think my dad asked me to designate a drive for him. So I think that's what I'm doing. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have any plans as of right now.
It's on like a Tuesday. So I mean, what am I gonna do? Or no, not a
Uh,
Tuesday. It's on a Wednesday. It's
Wednesday. Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll probably just do something low key. Go to a friend's house, go to a dive bar, nothing crazy. I'm not a huge New Year's fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not doing anything either.
I'm
No.
probably gonna be sober so that I go into the new year sober. Because I'm gonna be a new man in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, before we really get into the hard hitting stuff, why don't we hear some from Mike? Talked to him earlier. He's going to be a changed man, Jake. I can tell you in 2026.
Oh boy, I'm nervous.
This is
Nervous
what I
to
was
hear this
saying to
one.
him earlier. I am eating all the carrot cake that's in my house so that there's no more in the year 2026. I'm dialed in. I'm drinking all the booze. I'm eating all the carrot cake so that I can't eat it in 2026. It's actually a big brain move. And yeah, it's just
Your words,
giving
not mine, but
that's the third time you said your words, not mine.
I said it twice. JB said it once.
It didn't really make any sense that time. But anyway, I am going into the year 2026 fucking dialed. I'm gonna get my mass up by eating all that carrot cake and drinking. I don't even really drink too much, but treating my body like extra shit
Those are your words, not mine.
so that I have more mass to cut from to get myself down to the ideal physical male or sorry, ideal male physique.
No,
So
we said it, Mike, dude. The 2026 Mike concert, dude. That's our
yeah,
deadline. We just got to figure out what the numbers are at, what we got to be like, you know what I mean? So maybe we can look like Jake in the new year. That's my goal. I want
yeah,
to want to look like that stud muffin over there.
100%. No, I mean yeah, I think yeah, we'd each have to set some goals. I mean, I have personal goals for like August of what I want to have saved and stuff, but that has nothing to do with like health and stuff. So I definitely need to make some. And like I mean, look, obviously let's get this out of the way. The whole idea of New Year's resolutions, like we all know the story with that. Like for a week the gym is packed and whatever. So I mean, it's not about just being, setting a goal so that you feel good about it. It's about making the changes. So I don't know, man. We also like really what our conversation was about was just how little time that really we all have. And, we're all 24, 25. And all of a sudden you're going to be 30 and you're going to be older. You're still young at that point, but you have less energy. You're 35. Like you start to lose, life is short. And if you really want to do something, you gotta fucking, you really gotta do it. So anyway, that's the motivational aspect of the podcast. We're gonna get that out of the way.
I actually have something to announce too. I don't know if I told you guys this, and I definitely don't think I've said it on the podcast, but I'm doing a High Rocks in June is the plan. Haven't officially signed up for it yet, but I'm currently training for it, and I've been training for a month. Did a practice. What?
No one knows what that is.
You don't know what that is? Okay. It's this like fitness competition. They have them like all over the country, and I think they have some outside of or no, yeah, they have them all over the world actually. Um I will pull up what exactly it is and read it off to you guys
Oh, yeah, that's really exciting.
because it is kind of complicated, but let's
It's
see.
complicated.
I mean, quick rundown, man, really. Like you could
Yeah,
tell us anything and we would believe that that's what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jake is gonna go
Um
climb Mount Kilimanjaro with his fucking bare feet.
yeah, dude, that's
Backwards.
part of it. No, I'm kidding. Where's okay. So it starts with it's a kilometer run, 1,000 meter ski erg, which is just the ski machine, if you've ever seen one of those. Some weird text you sent. Don't know what happened there. Another kilometer run, 50-meter sled push, another kilometer run, 50-meter sled pull, 1 kilometer run, 80-meter burpee broad jumps, another kilometer run, 1,000-meter row, another kilometer run, 200-meter kettlebell farmer carry, another kilometer run,
And another kilometer run too in there. I mean, geez.
100-meter sandbag lunges, last kilometer run, and then 100 wall balls.
Okay, so
So it's 8
essentially
kilometers and
what middle schoolers do for the Obama presidential test.
yeah, sure, buddy.
No, look, I'm excited for you, and you're setting this up for everyone to keep yourself accountable, I would assume. Is that the
Yeah,
goal?
I mean, I just said it's online, so I need to follow through with it now, right?
Yeah, you're right. And 9.5 people just heard that. So
Nah, like 20.
no, well, good. So when is that? When is the
It's in June in Ottawa, I believe the one we're doing is.
Oh wow, that's cool. You get to go to Ottawa to do it.
Yeah, hopefully they'd still be in the playoffs. I could hit a game. That'd be super cool.
And when'd you say?
June.
June. Yeah, I don't know if they're still gonna be in the playoffs in June.
Yeah, kind of doubtful, but they're a sneaky team this year.
We'll see. Well,
Never
look,
know.
the point is, right? We're all trying to improve, because we've all been kind of shit bags, and at the same time, like, you know, we're trying to do the right things, but you're young and you're still learning, so we're trying to figure it out in our own path here, and love it. That's gross hockey. That's gross hockey. But this again, this is a hockey podcast. This is a Bruins podcast. Do you guys want to talk about the Bruins, or we got any other thoughts?
Jake, you got any other races we could dive into?
No, nah,
Yeah,
and not
let's
yet.
talk the Bruins.
All right. So all right, they have lost. I'm not even gonna pull up stats. What are they? They lost 7 games in a row or something like that. They're bad. They're not playing good. Like, we know where they're at, dropping in the standings. We know how tight the league is. What are your guys' thoughts on why they're here? Like, do you think they're kind of tired? They've expended a lot of energy, and this is kind of just a little bit of a lull here. Do we think this is the reverting to the mean, like as in this is what this team kind of really is? Um, JB, I'll throw it to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe everything's starting to wear off a little bit, and this is like the identity of the team or kind of the ceiling of the team. It's been a weird year, like we've talked about before, just in the NHL alone, that it seems like some of these teams you go on a quick slide and it just changes the whole trajectory of where you're at, where you are in the standings, and kind of like what the target is then of the season. So I don't think that they're off the rails. It seems like the game in Calgary, it was a pretty boring game, but
Yeah.
I feel like they showed up a little bit more than they have been in the last few. But yeah, I mean, we were also at the beginning of the season talking about how much depth scoring they were getting, and all of that's great, but you can't rely on that all the time. It's like I think in some of these games you're expecting a big show from Pasta or even Geeky. I didn't see too much of him, so I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. But they definitely got to try to start digging out of this hole right now, or else you don't want to go into the Olympic break and you're on an absolute slide.
Yeah. Jake?
Yeah, I think it's like there's two different ways you can look at it here. One being it's kind of like the season started out like very up and down, like the peaks and valleys. Like you go on a 3 game winning streak, you go on a 4 game losing streak, then you go on a 7 game winning streak.
Yeah.
So clearly we're on a 7 game losing streak. There was a winning streak before that. I think what was it, like 6 games maybe?
Something like
Um,
that, yeah.
so it could just be like they're kind of a streaky team.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think it's possible that like the ship might be rising to the surface a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I can't give you an answer which one it is because we just have to wait and see. But
Yeah. Well, I do want to, as much as I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time, just razzing you a little bit, I do want to give you your flowers in terms of, like, I think I gave you a little shit. I think it was the last podcast about you were definitely wrong on where you saw them this season, just based on their start. But I think I'm eating my words a little bit in just terms of how fast they can drop. And it's very possible that they're still in the bottom 10 of the league, and looking at, a pretty high pick. But granted, this season it's partly just because of how good every single team. Like, I'm looking at the Atlantic Division right now. The Maple Leafs are the worst team, which is crazy. Then it's the Senators, and then it's the Bruins, but they're 2 points apart, those three. Then it's the Sabres at 44, 2 points above us. Then it's the Panthers, they have 44, 46 with the Canadians, 47 with the Lightning, and the Red Wings have 49. So it's like we're all in a couple games swing here. So yeah, I mean, it really is just like a crazy season. I guess I don't know if either one of you really gave your thoughts on which one it is. It is really hard to say. Like, I don't really know what I would say. I feel like this point in the season, my viewpoint based on watching these games is the style of play that they play, the style of game that they play. I think we're seeing it wearing them down a little bit. Like, how much do we talk about how this team will bully and beat the fuck out of anybody? Like Kostelik, Janot, uh, Zadorov. I think now, like with the injuries they've had, I think some of those guys are really they've been beaten up. Like those fights, they take a lot out of you, right? And you might really bang your hand up, and you don't want to go fight 2 nights later, you know. So I see it a little bit as like the game, the identity they have is tiresome, and they're hitting that like they hit it right before the Christmas break, and like you said, that Calgary game, Buffalo too. Buffalo's okay. At least they put up a fight. I thought the Calgary game was solid, but the offense, where is the offense? And that's kind of the problem that we came into the season assuming that they would have, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't. It's like you said, it's so tight and it's so close, and you just listed off the rankings in the Atlantic, and I could tell you it's going to change so much from now, even from 2 weeks from now. Like Ottawa could be in like third place. Like
Yeah.
it's really just so tight, and like I mean, Ottawa's beaten us 3 out of 4 times, and they're below us in the standings. It really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, which is honestly great because the NHL has been pretty predictable in the regular season for the last how many years. So it is exciting to like watch because you check the standings and you're like, oh shit, like Tampa Bay jumped to the top of the Atlantic again. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. Pretty exciting season. Obviously, you want to see the Bruins do better and keep that consistent play that we've seen in streaks this year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not always going to happen. And I'll go back to saying what I said before the season started. I really can say this is the first year that I really don't care what happens. Obviously, I want to see the Bruins win. I love the Bruins. I'm a massive Bruins fan. Um, but with this draft being as stacked as it is and the expectations of where we were supposed to be, I wouldn't be horribly mad to see us get a great pick again and then build from there. And then the expectations for next year would be very high for me. But that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I just wish they would choose one or the other, dude. It's like just tank if that's what it's gonna be, but to
I
stay
know,
in the
but
mix and it's just hard.
yeah, I mean, you also have to look at like from the inside out. Like we're looking from the outside in. It's like we think we're fucking GMs. Like obviously we don't actually, but talk like we are. But at the end of the day, pretty much every team in the league wants to be competitive, wants to win. Unless I don't know, some teams maybe tank every once in a while, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they want to make money at the end of the day. So
Yeah, yeah, and to your point about it being a huge industry, like every other team is trying to win too. So that's
yeah,
why it's, like for a lot of years, like you made a good point about it's exciting that the league is this competitive because like you said, a lot of years like Buffalo predictable, Ottawa predictable, Detroit. So now we're seeing like some of those teams, fuck, like if they get in and they have a high, they have home ice advantage. I mean, like let's think about this. Right now with the standings being where they are, it would be Detroit versus well, let's say it would be Tampa versus Montreal would be a first round matchup. Like that would be a pretty fun series to watch, And fuck, I mean, Tampa could win and they could go on a run, but I could see Montreal beating them if
that
they
would
get.
actually be pretty sick considering those two teams played in the Stanley Cup Finals 5 years ago. That would be.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely very unpredictable, and we'll see. Um, so that was my thought in terms of just like the piece of shit Bruins, the way that they were playing. I think that might have worn them down a little bit, and now the problems we saw entering the season with the offense. Like the fact that their top six is kind of light on really elite players. You look at Ottawa, like they got Brady Tkachuk, they got Tim Stutzel, they got Claude Giroux, they got Batherson, they have DeBrinket. Oh no, I'm sorry, they don't have DeBrinket anymore. He used to be
Pinto.
Pinto. So it's like some of these teams are able to get away with some things through the regular season where I feel like the Bruins really have to win by committee every night. And that's exhausting. You know, in a playoff series, that's a team where if they get hot, they're dangerous. But this year in this league, can they get there? That's what we'll see. Um, so one other thing about the Bruins was I had a conversation with JB before I had said this about Minten, and it's something that actually happened in the last game where they played Minten, Pastrnak, and Hustadinov. I like that line. Personally, I think they should give Minten more ice time, more rope, because I've kind of seen what I like. We know what Elias Lindholm is. We know what Pavel Zacha is. Got a full diaper on Pavel Zacha the other night. But I think with Fraser Minten, the kid's what, 20? And the skating skills that he has combined with, first of all, we know he's a great two-way forward, but he's got that skill. Like we've seen his ability to score and he plays fast. And I think that's what a guy like Pastrnak needs. And combine that with the ability to back check because Pastrnak, despite being from Czech, he not the greatest back checker. I don't know about you guys. Have you felt like Pastrnak has kind of maybe lost the step a little bit? Like he's still an elite forward. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of speed, like I've heard him even in some of these, I think mic'd up clips. Like he's like, "Oh, I used to be able to pass on the backhand." I feel like he feels like he's an older player in this league now. Not that he's over the hill, but moral of the story is they just need more help, and maybe Minton can be a guy who gives more minutes because he's got the legs. What do you guys think about that?
I think every year you see him go into like spans of like not being himself. And I think we're kind of seeing that right now. I mean, last year, I think it was the beginning of the season, and then he really took off. It's not something I'm too worried about. I think he'll hit his stride again and start pouring on the points. But yeah, I definitely like agree with you that like this entire year, for the most part, the production has come from him and Geeky, and like you can't rely on that on a nightly basis. Like you can, but it's not sustainable.
Yeah. In the bottom six has been good, but their style of play is exhausting. And when the Pasternak geeky dry spell happens and you're relying on your bottom six, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
What about Minton, JB? What are your thoughts on giving him more?
Yeah, I mean, I think they already are. He was second in minutes last night.
Was he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Pass had the most on the forward group, and then Minton was second, I believe.
Hmm.
I think they were saying that I think he just hit 19 minutes. So, I mean, that's a solid amount. But yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking about it, I think the guys in that room, specifically the coaching staff, like probably saying very similar things, a little more educated, and they know a little bit more being in the room. But I don't know if Pasta's really lost a step. I think Pasta might be dealing with that lingering
Yeah.
issue. If it is tendonitis in his knee, I mean that's a direct injury or something lingering that would I think slow him down a bit. But I don't know. I just think that with this team, you guys said it, like it's for them to win games and be the team that excites us, like we've seen in flashes. It's coming from all four lines, and they're in go mode the entire time. And when you don't have the super high end scoring that can kind of bail you out of the games, it is tough. I mean, that's where you start to go on a bit of a slide. I mean, we saw it. I mean, you think back on that 2023 year, every pod we got to find a way to bring it back. But to the last time I was happy. But you think of that team, like you had so many nights that like I don't know if they were outplayed. I mean, there were some games that they were outplayed, but they just had so many threats and scoring ability that would win them games. The Bruins now, they just don't have that ability. I mean,
Yeah.
you or Jake said it. I mean, if Pasta and Geeky aren't on, it's like we're all on our knees praying that Steve-O can get the puck in the back of the net or Hustadinov can pull another shimmy shake out. Like you need another guy in this lineup to kind of bring things home.
Yeah, and because we all know it, like this is a season where they have taken a step back. Clearly, I mean they did last year, and so this year they accepted it. And so you're not necessarily going to get that guy at a deadline. You're hoping that it comes through drafting, developing these players. Like I said, Fraser Minten. Obviously, they did play him. I was saying this like probably a week ago. So I was excited to see that he was playing with Pastrnak. I thought they had a few shifts where they really dominated, but a guy like Husadinov, Minton, obviously the prospect system is uh, is where they're hoping to fill that top six out. Um, Otherwise, we could go into some World Juniors. I don't know how much you guys have both been watching, Jake. I know we spoke during the game last night, which was I think was something worth mentioning for sure, just because of what our conversation was. But um, or we could talk. Yeah, what? Why don't we get into that? So, so Jake, we spoke on the phone during that game, and what were we talking about?
Yeah, so we got into, I believe when we spoke, it was either 2-0 Slovakia or 3-1.
Well, it's two different scores, my score and your score, because you were
That's
12,
true.
12
I'm
to
always
12.
behind. Correct. But we were talking about Higgins, and you were like, "Oh, I haven't really noticed him." I said he's playing all right because you missed the first period, and he rang one off the bar in the first period. But other than that, like he hasn't really been that noticeable in the tournament. Like he's been in the mix, but like a guy like that, you want to see him getting on the score sheet a lot more. And then just about right as we hung up the phone, he scores his first goal of the game to end the period, and then he comes out of the for the third period and scores a second goal of the game.
Mhm.
And then who follows?
William William Zellers.
True. Very true.
Yeah, no, and just to clear up, like what I said was kind of I keep bringing it back to the McAvoy 2017 World Junior Championship because I remember very clearly I had something to do and I missed it because I wanted to watch that game, and it was one of my favorite games I've ever watched. McAvoy was huge in that game in terms of like they were down 2-0, he scored, then I think then they went down 4-2. He got an assist on the third goal. Like he was just monstrous in terms of like being a leader and helping produce, not just like a leader with with his voice. And I was kind of saying like Higgins, like you'd said, I haven't seen him. And JB, actually, we talked about this a little bit too. I think you were saying it in the last game that you wanted to see him jump off the page at you. And he really hadn't. Like he was a little quiet for a guy who you're hoping is like your franchise center, which is clearly the hope in Boston. It may be a little bit of a high hope, who knows? But yeah, like you said, pretty much right after our conversation, I mean, he did exactly what we were talking. Like he literally took over that game, scored two goals. Zellers ended up with the game winner. So future's bright in Boston. JB, were you watching that game?
Didn't realize I muted it. Yeah, no, I was watching it. Yeah, I mean, he looked good. Obviously, you brought up Zellers, like his ability. Just Zellers for me, like he's always been in the right spot. If you see the goals that he scored, like he's carrying pace for one, but he also seems to find quiet ice, which I think that's one of the biggest things when you watch any goal scorer. You think of Pasta, like it's being able to find that the quiet ice throughout the zone. But Hagen's, yeah, I mean, I think his game's been good. I think he's in the discussion of a guy that, what does his game exactly look like? Is he a guy that's bringing more to the table from a defensive standpoint, 200-foot game? Or is he going to be jumping off the page at you just with high-end talent, skill, and scoring ability? So I think he's a healthy blend. We've seen it beginning portion of the tournament. I think he's been a horse for them just from like a defensive standpoint, but then the offense is starting to come now. So Definitely agree with you. I do think the future is bright in Boston. I did not realize Will Zellers is as good as he was. I know he's had a pretty decent season. Where is he at North Dakota?
Yep.
Yeah, I know he's had a pretty good season so far, and yeah, I mean it's been fun to watch. Hopefully they can keep this going.
Yeah. Did you guys see the stat Marcus Antonelli, what he posted about Zellers?
I believe there was two, so please tell me which one you're referring to.
Well, there was a stat about Colorado Avalanche drafted players and their points per game at the World Juniors, and obviously there's pretty good names there with McKinnon, um, Makar, Rantanen, and Zellers is one of them because he was originally drafted by Colorado, and obviously we're only a couple games in, but he's got the highest points per game of any of them. I wouldn't expect that. He's at like a 2 point per game. I don't think I expect that to necessarily continue. It could, and he's been a really good addition for that team after not being initially invited to it.
Yeah, he also actually broke a record for USA Hockey at the World Juniors, and it's the most game-winning goals.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he scored the game-winning goals in all 3 games, didn't he?
Yep.
That's fucking insane. As
Yeah.
a guy who wasn't invited originally,
Yeah.
and I commented or whatever, tweeted something that there must have been somebody who vouched for him. No, like when the original roster left him off, that roster then gets cut down. So he didn't even make the original roster that was then going to be cut down. Then he got invited after and then made past all the cuts. So I think someone must have been like, yo, how'd you forget Zellers?
Yeah, and when I saw that first roster and he was not on it, I think I'm probably brought it up on the pod. I know I probably said something to you guys, but I was baffled, especially the year he's having. Um, I don't know how much you know about him, but he was a guy that he stayed at Shattuck St. Mary's his for all 4 years. So he played all of his high school hockey there. Didn't go play juniors like most people do, and obviously that hurts your draft stock. So he went in the third round, which for a high school hockey player, that's pretty good. And then obviously he absolutely lit up the USHL last year, and he's lighting up college hockey now in one of the best conferences. So just a pure goal scorer, like which is what you love to see. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
For the
mean,
Bruins, especially, right? Like
because they need that.
it's clear that they identified him because moving Coyle, I bet a lot of teams would have been in on Coyle. Like that was why that deadline was so important for the Bruins. Trading Carlo and Coyle, two guys who like we've watched them and like they're really good in a very limited role on a playoff team, but where the Bruins were at, it was like we don't need these guys. And seeing what you could get for both of them, I mean,
Yeah, they
huge,
fleeced on both of them.
huge.
You get Middlestat, Zellers, and a second rounder.
And then Carlo, you got Fraser Minten. How hilarious would it be if Minten's like a top 6 center, elite 200-foot player? Zellers is a goal scorer, not even Zellers, forget that. But then they get a high pick from this Leafs draft this year, and it would just be another trade. The Bruins like not only do the Bruins own the Leafs in the playoffs, and well, forget the regular season, but the trade history is
Yeah.
brutal too. Like the
Dude, he's
Phil
the next
Kessel,
Leaf killer. I'm telling you.
Minten,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, dude, like the Kessel trade ended up with Dougie Hamilton and Sagan. They won a cup the next season. The Tuukka Rask for Andrew Raycroft. A guy won the Calder, Raycroft. Now he's on the couch with Rask, but he ends up really not carving out really much of a career after winning the Calder as a rookie as a goalie. And Rask ends up being a franchise goalie. Granted, never got it done, but still, like clearly won that trade, won the Kessel trade. Then they make this trade for Carlo at the deadline, and I mean, Carlo hasn't even played that much for them. He's injured, I believe, right now, and Minton's playing really well. Was a 20-year-old, and the Leafs might have a top 10 pick, so looking
And
good.
the Avs traded away Coyle for virtually nothing,
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty strange because he is a very good third line center. And I feel like I mean, I know he like wasn't the best last year in the playoffs for them, and they're pretty cutthroat over there. But
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know. I feel like it could have been a good fit
yeah,
if you,
waited it out a bit.
yeah. But I mean, clearly they're fucking lighting it up this year. So who the fuck am I to say anything?
No, I hear that though. I think they're just like you said, they're so in win now that they didn't want to waste time, which is why they got rid of Middlestat. Like to them, he wasn't a project they wanted to work on. But yeah, they clearly won both of those trades. So those are some positives. Obviously, the negatives are pretty clear with the Bruins right now, but none of us really expected them to go out and like, you know, win the cup. We're being realistic here. So some positives.
If the Bruins make the playoffs, do you think you see Hagens?
Yeah, that's a
Um,
really
I don't think so.
see. I'm kind of on page with you on this, Jake, and we were talking about it in that chat a little bit. I understand your perspective to rush players because they typically say wait till a guy dominates before you move him up. But I wonder if Hagen's could just be a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't get paid to do this, so this is just my opinion. But I obviously like think you should take it, make a decision when it comes. Like he's still got the rest of World Juniors and another half of college hockey season left. So if he shows you that there's no reason why you shouldn't bring him in, then like yeah, do it. But I
So
think
if he
unless it's
stays
like
at the pace that he's at and what you've seen thus far, would you put James Hagens on this Bruins team at the end of the year if they're going to make the playoffs?
no, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's been good. It's just I don't think he's been great in what he can be.
So how about I double down and say like you think another year of BC is gonna serve him?
Yeah, I mean, you could go the Providence route there too, which
That
I
would
don't
be
hate.
signing him though, which is kind of similar to getting him to the Bruins,
Yeah,
right? Like it's a similar move. Like
I
you're
think he's done at BC. I think this is it this year. I think you probably see him in Providence, but I don't see him doing another year
yeah.
at BC.
That's where that's kind of where I stand too. Like granted you don't want to rush a player. He's obviously not physically like NHL like a nail gun, but I don't know if next year he goes out there and has 2 points a game or a point and a half a game. You know, like I feel like I actually said this to I think JB recently, where I was like, I'm torn on where I see him. Like I'm non-committal when it comes to him. There's a couple players like Charlie McAvoy. When I watched him, I was like, he's going to be an NHL stud, and he is. Granted, he has some maybe his ceiling is kind of what we've already seen, but he's obviously like a stud NHL defenseman. With Hagens, I'm a little bit torn, but part of me has this thing where hasn't this kid won wherever he's went? Like
pretty much. I mean,
I didn't follow him at Mount St. Charles, but he went from Mount to BC, no? Or did he play him
no,
somewhere?
he played for the U.S. development team.
Yeah, yeah. Is that a year? That's a year-round thing, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So including that, every like hasn't he won at pretty much every level? Like
I
he
mean, he
won
never
last
won.
year.
He didn't win at BC, but he won
True.
World Juniors. Yeah,
True. He didn't win at BC, but he did break the record at the U.S. development team, didn't he?
I think he broke some record. Yeah,
Or he led them in points. I think he might have broke the
he's
record.
very high up on the point totals. Yeah, I don't know exactly where he is because I feel like someone new breaks it every year.
Yeah.
But
Because my
yeah,
thing is like maybe he's not your Macklin Celebrini, but he is a guy who like you put in your lineup with good players and he's gonna do the right thing more often than not, and he's got a lot of skill. So if another
yeah,
year at BC is just gonna be what we've seen this year, maybe it's better to jump him up a level. And if he doesn't make the Bruins, because they're really, competitive roster, even though they're not really the greatest team, then maybe you give him some time in Providence, and then through that, maybe you see, okay, look, he's better than Patra. He's better than this guy, and maybe then you start to see him take another step.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just a little worried about like throwing him in there. I mean, he's a little bit undersized, but I mean, I think he'll be fine. I don't know. I'm just kind of walking on eggshells with him. Obviously, he's our prized possession. I don't want to rush it and ruin it.
Yeah. No, and I
But
hear
there's
that.
also a reason I'm not in charge of that. So,
No, I hear that, and I think that's a sensible view. And like you said, the most rational take is obviously you play your cards when they're dealt. We have a hockey podcast, so we got to talk about some things. We got to try to have some opinions. So, um, all right, if we anything else on the Bruins prospects, Bruins organization, or anything, or do you want to move over to? I had a question for you about the Olympics.
I'll just leave it at another good weekend for Dean Letourneau. He had two beautiful goals this weekend, or
Mm.
actually, it was Sunday and yesterday. So
I did see that. Yeah, he's
yeah,
another.
so
Could he leave? I mean, he's even. You could question if he could leave BC, but
I mean, I think you look at impact on the lineup right away. I mean, he's like mature enough, like his body's ready. I don't know.
yeah,
It's
it's an interesting question, especially with how good the P Bruins have been too. Like
yeah,
that
because
team
there's a
is,
lot of guys there too that are like knocking at the door.
dude, they are lighting the A up. Do you guys see the other night they won like 8-1?
Yeah.
They're pumping teams in Providence right now. It's actually crazy. The one game they lost all year, we all went, holy jinx. But yeah, so no, good call with Letourneau. So we'll see how that all goes, and we'll keep a tight eye on it. I wanted to ask you. I saw something online. It's an interesting question. We talked about the lineup for USA. Could you guys see Trevor Zegras being an addition to this American team as a specialist, as a skill guy, maybe power play, whatever? They have a lot of skill. I understand that, but particularly in the shootout because of the Olympic rules. TJ Sochi, how are you?
No. I mean, it's a very interesting thought, especially the shootout, and I think that's the only chance he would. But he's not built for this tournament. Like he's a pretty similar player to like Jack Hughes, and we've been pretty harsh on him about whether he'll be in the lineup or not. Um, and yeah, you have to dress him too for the shootout. So you're going to use one roster spot for a guy that's not going to play just to maybe use him in the shootout if it gets there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a very interesting thought because they have had a lot of heroes in the shootout. And
Yeah.
so, I mean,
What was it? Troy Terry?
Troy Terry, that was in the World Juniors, but
Yeah, but
Oshie, um,
was there any other one that
I
wasn't those two? It's the only two I can think of. TJ
I know
Sochi,
Tays for Canada had a crazy one too, but
TJ Oshie was obviously like crazy because he went. What was his right? Was he 4 for 6 in the shootout? Like that was crazy.
I think so.
Because he kept scoring, and then the other team would get one, and then he would go and score. The other team would get one, different guy, and then he would go, and then finally the other team just couldn't keep up. That was
It's
that was
also
crazy.
it's also funny too because I did hear something about them bringing him specifically, like
Oshie?
yeah. So I think he was like very much on. No, not this year. He's retired, but in 2014, he was like very much on the fence of making that team, and his dominance in the shootout because obviously he was a very good shootout player in the NHL as well. That was the decision in him making the team.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but I also feel like how good was that team that TJ Oshie was in a legit like guaranteed spot. I have to look at the team again, but he
I
was a
mean,
nail gun. Like he could play
they were a pretty
anyway.
solid squad. I'm pretty sure Phil Kessel didn't even make that team that year.
That is true. I wonder why. Who made it over Kessel? Who made it
It's
over
dude, I
Kessel?
guarantee you it was a personal vendetta against him because
Yeah, he eats hot
I
dogs.
mean he's got some issues for sure. You ever hear that story about him weighing in? He just wouldn't weigh in. He's just a fat fuck.
But he buries the puck and he plays every
Oh
game.
yeah.
That's the thing. Is like at a certain point, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Although you could make an argument he would have been a way better player if he didn't. But he
Yeah,
fought a lot of adversity too. Beat testicular cancer, I believe. But
I've never heard that
JB,
actually.
what did you think about the Zegras idea?
Kind of with Jake, honestly. I think it's an interesting point to bring up, but
Yeah,
with how tight this roster already is, I don't know if he's a name that I'd really throw in the mix for it,
yeah,
but I think it would be cool if it ever did come about. I mean, I don't hate Zegras by any means. He was a guy that honestly I was interested from the Bruins standpoint to try to go out and get a guy like that.
yeah.
You could argue that that's what they're missing, but past the Bruins talk. But I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with Jake. I think on that. I don't think I'd give up a spot.
Yeah. No, I'm actually glad you brought up the Zegras to Bruins because I was thinking about that somewhat recently too. Like that trade was a great move for Philadelphia, and you could make an argument that if the Bruins could have swung that, that it would have been a really good fit.
What did they give up?
I believe it
Uh,
was Ryan Poling or Paling
yeah,
and another.
really, they really didn't give that much up.
It was two NHL players, but they weren't like studs. They were probably middle six forwards, and then like a third round pick or something like that. Maybe one of you could look it up, but
I think Anaheim was just ready to move on.
they were. They wanted to get pieces that could play in the lineup and do something different than Zegras. Who knows? But obviously, it didn't happen. To wrap the Zegras to the American team thing up, I think the team we made with Patrick Kane being an extra, I think it probably is about as far as the American team would go in terms of like focusing on a shootout. Because I think you look through that lineup, like you got some other guys who I would throw out in a shootout for sure. Like they may not have as good of a shootout record as Trevor Zegras, but they're gonna make the team and they're an elite player, so
Yeah,
probably makes more sense. But I did think it's an interesting concept because you forget about that, where the Four Nations didn't have the shootout, just had continuous overtime.
I mean,
yeah,
he's having a pretty good season right now, anyways, too. Like he's a point per game in with Philly,
Yeah,
15 goals, 22 assists. So I mean, he's definitely had a bounce back year. And for the USA team, I mean, they're so stacked, but I think on a lot of just normal NHL teams, like he brings such a different value. So
for sure. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw a report today. I believe it was from Elliot Friedman that Jason Robertson is looking like he's on the outside looking in. Thoughts on that? Because we had him on our roster, pretty high in the lineup as
yeah,
well.
like first or second line. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think I could probably speak for the both of you that I don't really watch him play enough to like be heartbroken or be like that's a stupid decision. But given his production, I would want to look at that lineup and see who they took over him for sure.
Yeah. From what I've heard, it seems like they're going with a lot of the same guys from the Four Nations. I think I heard that Chris Kreider was the only forward that was on the Four Nation team that will not be going to the Olympics. And like I said, that's just a report.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be what? Three forwards that are added that weren't on the roster.
I think so, yeah.
So that would be, I don't think Kane makes it. Do you guys think he ends up making the team?
I don't know, honestly. Tough
I
to
I
feel
say
like
yes.
you think
I'm,
so.
I'm like 50-50.
He's a USA legend.
Yeah. And that's obviously why we all feel like he should make the team. Do we think that Bill Guerin and that staff values that over a player who they would want to play more? I don't know. But I guess if you see it as like, if that extra guy isn't really going to play, barring no really injuries, obviously you have to consider injuries, but you have two extra forwards. So if one injury happens, you can plug one guy in and maybe Kane's that guy. And yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. They did say that Canada's announcing the team tomorrow. I heard there's some rumblings that like Suzuki and um,
Marchand and Marner, if Fanatics like leaked something.
yeah,
So, I mean, I buy into that pretty heavily, actually. I think that's they
yeah,
definitely know something because like obviously you got to get the merch together. It takes a little while to make it, but
I mean, probably not though, because you just
yeah,
changed your name.
I don't
But
know.
no, I hear you though. I believe it too. Whether they really give Fanatics an inside edge, I don't know. But I feel like usually when stuff like that comes out, it is true at the end of the day. So um,
Yeah.
we'll see. But I don't know. When are the American rosters coming out? Have they said that?
I haven't seen a date yet, but I believe it's pretty soon. I don't think we'll be waiting for much longer.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. That's for sure. JB, did you have any thoughts on Robertson? I kind of skipped you over.
No, I mean, I don't, like you had said, like we don't watch him that intently that
Yeah.
I would know too much. I think he's got to be above a point per game, I
Yeah.
would guess. So, and he's had a pretty solid career. It's just like really the point that I think like thinking about is what you just said. And it was just like with Billy G, like what's their thought process? Because like that is like really what it all comes down to. It's just like which direction are they trying to go on? Like, is there a board that has Trevor Zegras pinned for potentially going 7 times in a shootout? We don't know. We're not
Right.
in that boardroom. So I think it's kind of like we threw it our lineup. I liked it. I was behind it, and now we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. No, 100%. So Robertson has 39 games. He's got 45 points. So he is over to point per game. He's 13. He's a plus 13. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, 26 years old, left shot. So, I mean, sometimes I guess things come into play where it's probably personality, right? Like who's going to mesh the best, who's, if he isn't going to play, who's going to fit in the bottom six the best. Maybe Quinn Hughes is now the GM because he has so much leverage over Billy G that he gets to pretty much pick the team. Um, we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But it's going to be exciting to see Quinn Hughes play for this team in the Olympics too.
True.
Yeah,
That was a big piece that we were missing in Four Nations. And I honestly, you know what? I really do like the fact that they're sticking pretty close to what they had at Four Nations
Yeah.
because I mean, we were this fucking close, boys. And right there,
Yeah.
take a little bit of a different approach. I
Because
mean,
Canada,
it's one bounce. It's one bounce. So
yeah.
run it back like your chances. You beat them once, you lost to them once. Just was
I
the
think
wrong
from
game.
the U.S. side, you're just more concerned. Like I'm looking at a guy like Matthews. It's just like, what are we gonna get from him?
Yeah.
Like, is he heating up at the right time? Like, because there were multiple conversations I know I had with you, Mike, just during that tournament, and then obviously we knew we were going to the game, but like you just didn't see much of him. Like he didn't have that dominant side to him where like McDavid had the sickle against USA in the first game, and then obviously he had a pretty solid game there in the finals. But I feel like the bigger names on Canada came to play a little bit more. Whereas, like, I mean, in that finals game, I thought Matt Boldy was one of the best players.
Yeah.
So that's the part too. Like we just said, right? Like, what approach does the GM have looking at this team? It's like, how much stock are you putting in an Austin Matthews to be the guy in your top six?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny to almost think about like imagine just leaving him off the roster. Be like, because like going back to what you just said, like yeah, he really didn't show up in that tournament, but he's had an even worse season this year. I mean, he had a goal I saw a couple nights ago that was pretty nice, and but overall, he's the team sucked. He's had a pretty rough go. Probably some injuries with him and a lot of mental things going on outside and probably squeaking internally between the ears a little bit. And again, probably an injury. But like you said, McDavid, that first goal against the U.S. In Montreal, forgot about that one too. That was ridiculous. I think he burned McAvoy on
He
that.
did burn McAvoy,
You
but
get,
dude, everybody was like, I mean, maybe not everybody. I was watching with Chris, who's the biggest Rangers jock sniffer, Bruins hater ever. He's like, what the fuck, McAvoy? I'm like, he's doing that to any defenseman in the league. There's nobody that's stopping him there.
maybe Kale McCarr. But also like it was kind of a play where you get caught for a second against McDavid, and it's like that, so it's not like he's not a good defenseman. He just probably just got caught sleeping a little bit, and McDavid turned the Jets. But also you bring up Matthews, like if he's like your second line center or your first line center, say he's your second under Eichel. He's going up against Nate McKinnon. Like you got Eichel, McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews. Like you're probably taking Canada in both of those. So I feel like the U.S. have to find a way where can they squeeze some difference, and maybe that gives them reason to say, okay, if Canada's going a different route in the bottom six, maybe you either try to match it or you try to go a different route. Maybe you try to go Cole Caulfield. Like maybe, I don't know. Like it's gonna be. I thought Robertson made a lot of sense because his size and he's having a really good year. But I don't know. It'll be exciting though.
Yeah, I mean, I think like pretty relative to how they played in Four Nations. Like if you're gonna beat Canada, you need to beat Canada, like beat the shit out of them. Like so I think the Kachucks are gonna be the two X factors in this game or whatever, whenever they meet Canada. I assume they play Canada at some point, even if they don't meet them in the
Yeah.
crossovers. But yeah, so I think those are your two guys, even though they might not be the most talented players on your team, which they're definitely some of the most talented players, but
Yeah. They're physical. They're leaders too. Like remember that clip of Brady saying to Chuck after a goal, he was like, "That starts with Chuck. That starts with Chuck."
Yeah.
Talking about McAvoy because I think it was the hit on McDavid where he crushed.
yeah,
Those guys are electric, dude. It's so much fun during like that period of time that you can like root for them and
Yeah.
not hate them
I,
because they're like just they're kids at heart. Like you look at Matt when he was in the box waiting for Brady, like there's so many bits from that tournament that were great that you're gonna get that again with this Olympics. So
and those two were the center of every viral clip of that. Like the US team, had some good moments, but the Kachuk brothers really were at the front and center. Like the fights, the dap up, the Brady Kachuk hit, the goal that he scored, like they really led the way. So I agree. I don't know who else in their bottom six. Seems like a lot of their guys who are maybe potential to make the team aren't really that bruiser grinder. Where Canada is considering, and I feel like it's came out maybe that they're going to take Wilson. They're trying to build their bottom six like that. I don't know if the U.S. bottom six is really going to be as physical. It seems like their top six might be more physical than their bottom six. No?
yeah,
Yeah. So, anywho, that's enough about that. We've covered that. Um,
we have lemonade.
yeah, we made lemonade out of water. So the other thing, I don't know if you guys see, first of all, Buffalo is buzzing around the league. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, but they're
Yeah, it was a great time for them to come alive there right as the Bruins are on their skid and we play them.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's about time that they start playing some prideful hockey. I feel like, I mean, the league's been waiting, but their fans more so have been waiting for just something to have some excitement over.
yeah,
And they've had so many, we've talked about it, I mean, on previous pods, just like how many guys, or how many players have gone through that organization that turn out to be great players and go on to have great careers. So you don't want to keep having that happen. Keep the guys in house and try to get some wins.
yeah, for sure. I got a fire pick for your puck don't lie if you got room too. It's Brady and Matthew Kachuk. I don't think you've seen it before, so I'll share it. I'll
There's a
share
picture of Mize behind them.
it. That would be classic. We need to get that going maybe this summer. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see if Buffalo continues this, but definitely big for them as the Bruins are struggling. We also do have that January 2 Winter Classic game. I sent something into our chat. Apparently that stadium or one of the stadiums has a jacuzzi that they allow VIP fans, and someone forget who it was, but he was saying, imagine if they had a jacuzzi like on the glass for a
Be
Winter Classic
crazy.
game. Dude, how that's I throw out what I said about Milan. That's the goal for Gross is to be sitting in a jacuzzi, you know,
Can you
along.
imagine though, dude? Zaka gets a breakaway and he turns over and we're just sitting there in a jacuzzi on the glass staring at him. He's gonna hit last row balcony in a football stadium.
Yeah, that is funny seeing the players looking at you and you got your chest hairs
I got
going.
nothing on but a Bruins beanie.
Oh, just skinny dipping in front of 17 thou. Probably more.
17 thou, dude.
It's
It's
probably
more
more.
than that, dude.
It's like
Way more than that.
The
30,000
Buccaneers
people.
Stadium.
Just pale as fuck as we live in New England and it's in Florida.
Mike pays him. I'm on the Jumbotron the whole game.
Yeah, that is really funny to think of the players looking over and just seeing some some fucking kid in jacuzzi. Um, yeah, so that'll be an interesting game. We'll see see how that the broadcast and like the presentation of it all ends up being. Um, someone on Chicklets brought up, why is that not the Battle of Florida in a Winter Classic game? It's a pretty
Yeah,
good point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in Florida. Both teams are playing an outdoor game in Florida, right?
Maybe they just wanted to have two in Florida. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird, but
Seems
They
like a
could do something cool with that though, too. Like even next year, or wait a couple of years, but like they could if they end up having a part of the season where it's like they play back to backs in like their schedule, try to do like a I don't know, like a weekend out of it, or just depending on how the games fall, but like a
yeah,
true battle.
that would be cool. A weekend of the Battle of Florida outdoors.
Yeah.
That would grow the game a lot. So I think it was Biz. He brought that up. He was like kind of a miss, but yeah, you're right. Maybe they can do it in the future. Kachuk is coming back soon too, which I commented under some posts. I was like, look out leak. And they were like, no one's scared of the turtle. It's like, look, I don't like Kachuk as much as the next Bruins fan. All right. I got a Bruins undies on right now. But let's be honest, that guy brings so much to that team that with them playing a little bit better, rising the standings and getting him back is not great for the Bruins' potential playoff decision. But yeah, guys. I mean, anything else? I mean, hockey, not hockey. You want to talk about? Other than that, I don't have too much. Yeah, we got some merch coming, and this is the year 2026 that Gross goes to the moon. That's kind of really all I got.
yeah. The only thing I have is I assume both of you saw it. It was the Matthew Barzell slash on was it Marchment, right?
Yeah, I did see that.
Sticking up for his the young buck Matthew Schaefer. And I just wanted to say, like, I think he got like a max fine or something, which is like 5 grand, slap on the wrist for that guy. But I respect it. You know what? Like we've been saying, not us personally, but like the hockey media world has been saying for a while that the Islanders are a boring team to watch. They're a boring franchise. But that kid's brought so much to that squad, and they are all rallying around him, which is crazy because he's 18 years old. And they've done a really good job sticking up for him this year because he is a pretty small kid and he is the future of that franchise and the league for that matter on the back end.
Yeah, I mean Zadorov folded him like a lawn chair, but yeah, I mean they jumped in right after that, and yeah. So I mean, for anyone who didn't see it, Marchman went to hit Schaefer coming out of his defensive zone through the neutral zone. I think he tried to kind of pull out of the hit. Looked like he caught him a little bit of a knee on knee.
It was a scary hit.
Schaefer went flying like Bobby Orr, kind of like he
Yeah.
Superman through the sky, and then Barzal skated over. And the only thing I would say that I didn't love about it was just the fact that it wasn't like a hockey fight kind of thing. It was more of like I'm gonna slash your foot, which
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
I'm a top end talent player and I'm not gonna get into something, so I'm gonna try
that's
to
true.
hit
That's
you
true.
on the laces, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, which
I
I
had the
don't
same
blame you.
opinion. I didn't No,
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I didn't love it though. I think like you go right at him. I get why he didn't, but I do respect obviously sticking up for the teammate and him, like Jake, you said, like him bringing so much life to the squad. Like I feel like we hear it all the time with any like young player that really comes into the league and obviously has some hype around him. Like the guys, I think not even super older guys, but just older guys in the locker room. Like you feed off of it because like they're such dumb kids. So it kind of I think it breaks it up a little bit. And I agree, right? Like they're not the most entertaining team to watch before they got Schaefer. And you had Barzal had spent now a decent amount of years in the Islanders system and not really playing super competitive hockey. So it probably just revitalized a lot of the guys in that room to just, I don't know, enjoy life a little bit more. Probably cracks them up a bit.
Yeah. 100%. Just that youthful, like you said, dumb kid. Like he's funny, and he really is special. Like I did that video on him, and just like kind of watched some more stuff that I hadn't seen, just his interviews. And he's 18, he's already going to like charities and going to throwback to Watchers on one of the first episodes of this pod, like children's hospitals and talking to these kids like on a real honest level and trying to help them through like some of these kids maybe it wasn't even a children's hospital, like they had cancer, I think one of the places he went was like kids going through loss, and that's obviously what he experienced. I mean, what he experienced was crazy. His billet mother killed herself, I believe, and then like 2 months later his mom died of cancer. It's like, talk about losing all the maternal people really in your life. I don't know if he's a grandmother, but so that was really hard. So I mean, just who he is, he seems like a great person and mature kid for his age, and a hell of a hockey player. And so yeah, it's definitely made the Islanders really exciting, and so you get them wanting to stick up for him 100%. And to your point, JB, Barzal, Marchman's not really like a goon. He's a top six forward on most teams, but he's a lot bigger than Barzal is, and Barzal is probably like, "Fuck yeah, I'm not gonna drop the gloves. I'm gonna cheap shot you the same way I feel like you just cheap shot at my teammate." So, um, yeah, that was definitely a crazy sequence. The NHL is really fun. A lot of stuff happening right now. Is there anything else that you guys have caught around the league since we've last talked? Like I said, the Sabres are playing really well. Obviously, every team the Bruins have faced off against looked really good. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't got anything. I want to wish Jake all the best on his upcoming date, though.
Yeah, Jake's got a
Hopefully
hot
he
date.
gets after it.
Yeah.
Thanks, JB. Feel appreciate that, man.
Yeah, so I mean, look, anyone who's listened this far, see a therapist for sure. Send us a pineapple if you did, if you enjoyed it. Hopefully we entertained somebody. It was good talking to you guys though, and we do have we got some cool stuff coming with the merch. I think the merch is gonna be a huge part of what we're doing, and not just to make money, but really to make some cool stuff that we like and we resonate with. And we'll try to grow this in a lot of different ways too. But keep an eye out. We got some USA Hockey themed stuff coming out. We got uh, some hoodies that we're gonna start releasing at some point too. It's probably gonna end up missing the winter now that I really think about it, but not a logistics company over here. Okay, give us a break. But yeah, so
Spring's a great time to wear a hoodie, though, so that's all right.
that's true, especially if you're not in the greatest of shape, or if you're trying to go to the gym and sweat, sweat it out.
Switch your bag off.
Yeah. So to cheers to you guys. This is the last episode of 2025, guys. We've done 38 episodes since I believe it was April.
Who would have fucking thought?
Ooh, I think the first thing I said in this pod was, how many episodes are we gonna do? Just one and done, and look where we are. So we've went through some fights, but at the end of the day, we've shared a love of the game of the Bruins and trying to build a community around it. So cheers to 2025, and let's do big things in 2026. So good chatting with you boys. Love you, and have a good new year, and see you next week.
Hell yeah.
See you next year.
See you next year.